Once upon a time, there was a friendly witch who flew through the air on her broomstick. She wore a tall black hat, had a long flowing cloak, and her hair was bright red, tied up in a thick plait. Her broomstick was her faithful companion as she soared above the hills and fields, her black cat perched confidently behind her, his green eyes gleaming with curiosity. They both loved to fly through the skies, swooping and diving, as the wind whipped around them. The witch would cackle joyfully as the broomstick cut through the air, and the cat would purr contentedly, feeling the thrill of the wind through his fur. One day, as they were flying through the open sky, disaster struck. The wind became so fierce that it blew the witch's hat right off her head. The hat tumbled down, down, down toward the ground far below. The witch gasped in surprise, and the cat meowed in dismay. "Down!" cried the witch, guiding her broom downward. They flew closer to the ground in search of the lost hat, but no matter how hard they looked, it was nowhere to be found. Just as they were about to give up, they heard a rustling in the bushes. Out popped a friendly dog, his tail wagging happily, and in his mouth, clutched between his teeth, was the witch's hat. "Is this what you're looking for?" the dog asked, dropping the hat at the witch's feet. "Yes, thank you," exclaimed the witch. "How kind of you." The dog's eyes sparkled as he looked up at the witch, and he asked, "Is there room on the broom for a dog like me?" The witch thought for a moment, then smiled and replied, "Why yes, there is. Hop on." With a leap, the dog bounded onto the broom, settling comfortably behind the cat. The three of them were soon flying high into the sky again, the broom carrying them through the clouds. As they flew, the wind picked up once more, this time blowing the witch's bow off her hair. The red bow fluttered away like a leaf caught in a breeze. "Down!" cried the witch once again, directing the broom downward in search of the bow. The cat hissed in frustration, but the dog barked excitedly, eager for another adventure. They swooped down low and spotted the bow caught in the reeds by a bubbling pond. And there, standing beside the pond, was a green feathered bird. The bird hopped forward, holding the bow in its beak. "Did this blow off your head?" the bird asked, offering the bow to the witch. "Yes, thank you," the witch said gratefully as she retied the bow in her hair. The bird cocked its head and asked, "Is there room on the broom for a bird like me?" The witch thought for a moment before smiling and replying, "Why yes, there is. Hop on." The bird fluttered onto the broom, perching in front of the cat and dog. The broom wobbled slightly but held steady as they took off into the sky once more, with the wind rushing past them. They soared over forests and meadows, the witch laughing with glee, the cat purring, the dog barking, and the bird chirping along. But as they flew higher, disaster struck again. The wind whipped fiercely through the air, and this time it blew the witch's wand out of her hand. "Down!" cried the witch once more, guiding the broom downward as they searched for the missing wand. The wand had landed in the middle of a marsh, half sunken in the mud. As they reached the ground, they spotted a frog, slimy and green, sitting on a lily pad. The frog hopped forward, holding the wand in its webbed hands. "Did you drop this?" the frog croaked, handing the wand to the witch. "Yes, thank you," the witch said, taking the wand. The frog blinked up at the witch and asked, "Is there room on the broom for a frog like me?" The witch smiled warmly. "Why yes, there is. Hop on." The frog leaped onto the broomstick, squeezing in between the bird and the dog. The broom creaked and groaned under the weight of its passengers, but it held strong, and soon they were flying through the sky again. As they soared higher and higher, the sky began to darken, and ominous clouds gathered overhead. Suddenly, there was a flash of lightning, followed by a loud crack of thunder, and a terrifying roar echoed through the air. A dragon appeared out of the storm clouds, its enormous wings flapping, and its fiery breath lighting up the night sky. The dragon's eyes gleamed hungrily as it spotted the witch on her broomstick. A witch, roared the dragon. "I'm hungry. I'm going to eat you up." The witch gasped in fear and urged the broom to go faster, but the broom was weighed down by all its passengers. The cat yowled, the dog barked in alarm, the bird flapped its wings frantically, and the frog croaked in terror. The dragon swooped closer, its jaws wide open, ready to snap the witch out of the air. "Help!" cried the witch. "Help!" Just as the dragon was about to snatch the witch from her broom, the broom suddenly snapped in two, sending the witch and her friends tumbling toward the ground. They landed in a heap in a murky bog, covered in mud and reeds. The dragon circled above, licking its lips as it prepared to descend and claim its prize. The witch, trembling with fear, raised her wand, but before she could cast a spell, her animal friends sprang into action. The cat, dog, bird, and frog huddled together, whispering frantically to each other. Then, in a flash of inspiration, they concocted a clever plan. The four animals gathered up the mud, reeds, and sticks from the bog, piling them high. They fashioned a giant, menacing creature, covering it in mud and slime to make it look even more terrifying. As the dragon descended, ready to gobble up the witch, the enormous mud creature rose from the bog. It had long, slimy arms, sharp claws, and glowing eyes that seemed to pierce through the night. "Beware," roared the creature, "leave this place, or you'll be sorry." The dragon, startled by the fearsome sight, hesitated in midair. It had never seen such a creature before, and the glowing eyes and sharp claws made it think twice about attacking. "Who are you?" the dragon asked, backing away slightly. "I am the creature of the bog," the creature bellowed, "and I do not like intruders." The dragon, now thoroughly spooked, decided that it was not worth the risk to challenge such a terrifying beast. With a final snort of fire, the dragon turned and flew away into the storm clouds, disappearing from sight. The witch and her animal friends let out a collective sigh of relief as the mud creature crumbled back into the bog. "That was amazing," the witch exclaimed. "You all saved me." The cat purred proudly, the dog wagged his tail, the bird chirped happily, and the frog croaked in delight. The witch looked at her broken broom and sighed. "Well, it looks like we're stuck here without a way to fly." But the frog hopped forward, grinning. "Not for long," he said. "Let's make a new broom." The witch, cat, dog, bird, and frog set to work, gathering sticks, reeds, and even some sparkly stones from the bog. With the help of the witch's wand, they fashioned a brand new broomstick. It was bigger, stronger, and even more magnificent than the old one. When it was finished, the witch waved her wand and said a magical spell. The broomstick sparkled and shimmered, ready to fly once again. "All aboard," the witch called. The cat, dog, bird, and frog climbed onto the new broomstick, and with a whoosh, they soared into the sky once more, higher and faster than ever before. They laughed and cheered as they flew through the clouds, the wind whistling past them. As they flew off into the night, the witch looked over her shoulder at her friends and smiled. "There's always room on the broom," she said, "for everyone." And so, the witch, the cat, the dog, the bird, and the frog continued their adventures together, flying high into the sky, always looking out for each other and making room for anyone who needed a ride.